Hello and welcome to another video of the Brown Vanlife channel. Today we're in one of the most beautiful campsites that we have ever stayed in all of Latin America. This campsite is located about 10 minutes outside of the town of Barichara, where we're spending the next couple of days. Before we get into the video of Barichara, I just wanted to give you guys a tour of this campsite, and there's no better person to explain what the meaning behind this place is than the founders and the people that run it themselves.
My name is Joep Art. From Holland. My wife also is from Holland. We fell in love with this place, Barichara.
And you bought this land in?
2010.
It's been a project 10 years in the making.
This is an old tobacco shed, basically a roof on posts to dry tobacco leaves. So it was just like a very simple space with just like an earth floor, and we have transformed it in like a social place, living space basically. Yeah. The roof is basically built out of wood with reed on top of that and the tiles, but underneath, as you can see, they put a layer of stucco made of a natural mix out of mule poop with earth and lime, which they let ferment and becomes like really nice flexible material to work with. We always say that we don't really need any paintings or anything like that, or any extra decorative things too much, because we're surrounded by beauty. It's basically a space multifunctional, I would say, where people can cook, do dishwashing, hang out, eat.
This roof, what is this material?
This is reed. Yeah, this is a typical reed from the area, caña. Yeah, caña brava, about 6 meters long, very long stuff, almost similar to bamboo. And so here we actually left it exposed, so we didn't cover it with any stucco because we liked the look of it actually.
Like when you were designing like these slats and stuff, what was the idea behind this?
But we didn't want to seal it off completely because we like also the transparency of the structure. So we actually designed this to be able to close it and open it up. You can open and close, you can even open like this completely, or halfway, or like this, you have it. And the beautiful thing is also it's all recycled wood. Like this countertop is made also out of big pieces of pallets. About water, we heard from the start that it was really important, if possible, to capture as much rainwater as possible because it can be pretty dry. We decided to capture all the rainwaters from all the roofs of these structures here, and that's why we built these gutters here on the bottom to be able to capture all the water. We didn't want to have like the typical metal gutters on just below the roof because for aesthetic reasons. And at the end of every gutter we made these little inspection pits. Here the water is being collected in a pretty small compartment. Dirt is being sedimented on the bottom before the water runs out. A bit of dirt maybe floating out or anything, we have another extra filter down there. Rainwater comes into this compartment, and as you can see at the bottom there's some gravel at the bottom, and you see the dirt which is being trapped on top of the gravel. So the water goes down, is being forced actually underneath this little wall, and here it goes to the right and then comes up again, and it goes through these yellow pipes into the tank. So this thing here, this is like a filtration system for all our wastewaters. Black water is water which is coming from the toilets, and grey water is coming from all the other things like showers, sinks. All that water goes to a couple of septic tanks down there. The liquids of the septic tanks, we pump it every day like a little bit into the surface of this pond. This is basically like a big dugout pond of like 1.30 meters of depth, filled up with sediments, basically sand and gravel on top. The water is being distributed in the upper layer and will sink in to the sand layer where the bacteria are breaking everything down. These plants, they provide oxygen to the bacteria, so they can live from that. And at the lower layer, again, gravel, the water is being collected and being sent to a couple of tanks down there in the back. With every time you shower or wash your hands or anything, all this water, apart from some consumption obviously by the plants, but most of the water is being reused. So that's actually what saves us. Way more important in a way to recycle all these wastewaters than capture this rainwater. Here we have a new system. We're still working on this. We're gonna connect that particular water from these two bathrooms, the black waters, only the black waters, to these tanks. And this is what they call a system of vermicomposting toilets. So in the tanks which are in here, the water goes in the top and flows directly out at the bottom. But we're going to fill this up with a big layer of organic material. Most of it is going to be wood shavings and worms. In this compost environment, the worms are going to break down everything which comes in there from the black waters, from the bathrooms, the remains, and also the worm castings, the fertilizer. Basically, will flow out liquid, and we can have it leached into a field down here. Maybe grow some particular fruit trees which require a lot of water and fertility. So that's basically an experiment to have a bit of a closed loop of food production, wastewater recycling.
Yeah, like a natural flowing recycling fertilizer.
The only thing is they need to be in a dark environment and having a constant temperature. It shouldn't be too cold or it shouldn't be too hot.
With the mountain view, the chicken have a better house than most of the people in Toronto. What's the maintenance of the chicken like? You have to feed them water, food.
Yeah, water, food. We have to clean up every day a little bit. It's a good place for them to be. They also need ideally some place where they can clean their feathers. So some dry soil, so they can take a dust bath, which is also very important for them. These glass tubes are collecting the heat of the sun and heating up the water in that tank.
And it only works when the sun is out? Or when the sun is done, is the water cold?
Well, when the sun is done, the water is still hot for quite some time, at least a day, I'm sure, because it's really well insulated. And then our bathrooms, if you want to know more about that.
Yes, my favorite.
We had the space here to dig something into the ground. And we also had loads of rocks, so we gathered everything and we started to build these dry stone walls as containing walls in the shape of these bathrooms. It would be nice if you have some relation with the nature around you. So to feel private on one hand, but still have a little bit of a view, especially in that direction.
I love the shower. Idea is like it's holding on to its own weight. That's what's holding it together, right?
There's no binding agents or anything. The stones are just built in a certain way that they overlap, and they're structurally very, very strong. And because of the friction between the stones, shouldn't collapse.
So you open it, it's a nice bamboo door, and voila! Being naked in the nature is the best thing. Very spacious. A shed for the toilet in case it's raining and you have to poop.
Yeah.
You're still covered, and the top has like a bunch of plants. So it's like you're under a mini garden. That concludes our tour of this beautiful place. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
If anybody is looking for this place, what's the name?
This place is called Camping Guaymaro.
What is Guaymaro?
Guaymaro is the big tree in the back there. That's a Guaymaro tree.
Okay, it's called Camping Guaymaro.
Yeah.
It's 10-15 minutes outside the main city, Barichara. You can take a tuk-tuk. Everybody knows them. Everybody knows this campsite. It's also listed on Iverlander with a lot of reviews. One of the most highly rated campsites for Iverlanders. Thank you so much for watching this vlog and enjoying this beautiful campsite with us.